Okay, well, you know, OBS likes to lose my microphone settings. Fortunately, I understood that and fixed it. So yeah, that's how abruptly that song cuts. It's a good one. It's from Cyberpunk. Um, except it's from the arcade in your apartment, which is called Road Race, and that's a track from Road Race. Anyway, let's get rid of that now. You can see it here. It's the main menu dim. And let's get into our Saturday routine, which is basically no granted routine, you know? What we're going to do today is I'm going to be installing some mods in front of a live studio audience. And we're going to start with like 3 of them. And then we'll check these and we'll see if we like them, okay? And I want to test them for Monday. So for tomorrow, not for tomorrow, sorry, the day after tomorrow, when, you know, I'll just stream Skyrim properly like I do. And the first one would be this. I definitely want to test this. It's a very good idea. It seems to be highly compatible. And the screen says everything. Before, after, smooth, right? That's all it does. That's all it should be doing. It will supposedly take care of some of the issues we have. And it will help with making Skyrim feel a little bit fresher, you know, a little bit better, easier on the eyes, you know. It already is pretty easy on the eyes, but like, yeah, you know. So let's go and see what happens. That's the first one we're gonna do. We're definitely doing that one. I really want to test it, so here we go. And today's session, if you didn't already suspect, is going to be just, you know, chop shop, Skyrim chop shop. We're gonna, yeah, you get the idea if you know what I'm talking about. So that's what's gonna happen. An hour or so, not more, like my Saturday streams always are. And I thought, well, why not like use it, yeah, to test that shit. So that's how it's gonna go. And I am a fan of testing such smaller mods, but very, very important mods, potentially, all in one batch. I don't like installing it, going in, you know, checking, then, you know, normally I would, but not on my levels. I am highly skilled in modding Skyrim. No, but for real, it's just boredom. It's just laziness. You shouldn't do that. But I'll do it, you know. And that seems to have been it. And so we move on from this shit. We will test it though. We will see what happens, see how it interacts with my mods. The next one I want to test is this. I do use Quest Journal Overhaul. This is a good idea. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it is like it's a good idea. I think it might look good. So what it does is like it's very simple. It adds auto scrolling to the titles when they're too long, right? And it increases the number of characters, as it says here, which means that the names are never going to be cut off, especially with custom quests. Sometimes like to do that. And the scrolling happens here. So when you mouse over, then this, if it was, for example, Forbidden Legend of the Galdur King or whatever, just an example, it wouldn't just say Forbidden Legend, then that's it. It would scroll and say Forbidden Legend of the... You get it. You know, you're not stupid. And so I will take that. That's just quality of life. So yeah. We're just taking that. We're taking it as it is. I like that this one had no overrides. It means that maybe it works as advertised. The next one I want to see, now that one we'll have to check. Because that one I don't know if it's compatible or not. And it's this. Now this, there are a few questions I have, one of which I posted on the posts here. But I can't wait to get an answer. I'll just go and get the answer myself. And I leave the question here anyways, just in case somebody else has the same question. It's very useful information. It has to do with whether or not bobbing framework is going to be compatible with realistic boat bobbing SE. It's FYX patch, it's Snow Under Roof patch, and it's USSCP patch. And I asked all of that, and now I'm just gonna forcefully find out myself because I just can't wait. I have no idea what the configs do. I'll have to read about that. Hi, Neris. Um, I'm taking action. Northern UI and questioner overhaul, it should override both. So show, and let's go and find that. So Northern UI should be before. And then it should be after quest journal overhaul very specifically. And then I think we're done and save. And there you go. Get these letters scrolling, get more space in the letter box. Okay. Another big one. No requirements, as you can see, very easy. Include configuration. An optional config is provided as an example and covers many vanilla locations. Currently included locations, blah, 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 blah. These configurations are completely optional and serve as examples of what can be achieved. Mod authors and users can create or extend their own configuration. Okay. Simply install it and you're done. So that configuration is like just vanilla locations. So what's going to happen is I'm just going to take it and test it. This is a framework. This isn't going to do much on its own. I haven't seen any custom additions here. I haven't seen anyone like offering any configs yet. Maybe they're just waiting for the guy to update his vanilla config, which is what I'm gonna do as well. But we can always search in case somebody has done it. For example, what is this? Let's see. We don't have any of that shit. And so I'm going to download it. So the difference between realistic boat bobbing and this seems to be that this isn't, well, first of all, it's a framework, right? Realistic boat bobbing, what it does is not this, believe it or not. What realistic bobbing does is it gives a natural bobbing to the ships. What this does is on top of that, ideally on top of that, you can also go on this boat and it will behave like this. So kind of like physics. Well, the little problem with that is that, as you can see, depending on, angle, your boat might be submerged. You know what I mean? Which you absolutely don't want for your boats, just to be clear. However, it is visually impressive enough that, sure, why not? You know? And so I thought, yeah, this could be cool. It does give a little bit more life to Skyrim, but obviously it isn't that realistic. I don't know if you've ever been on a boat, but it doesn't take water. This doesn't happen. If that happens, you're gonna start sinking, especially if you stay for long enough that this happens, like to this point. Like so it has this limitation of like the water texture goes through, is what I'm trying to say in a very clumsy way. And yeah, but I don't know. I don't see why not. Other than that, could be argued that you don't need it. Very possible. Could be argued that it's not realistic. It might become annoying. Might become a little bit too funny. Have an NPC here, and you just go here, and then the NPC goes like oop, diagonal. Maybe. So we don't know exactly what's gonna happen. We'll see. It does show bobbing boats here, which that is interesting. But again, I really have to say because from my understanding, it doesn't do the same thing as realistic boat bobbing. We're about to find out. So yeah, let's see if I'm correct. And if it does the same, if it does the same thing, then fine. I guess we can sort of replace it. And I'll get the config file as well. I hope the guy expands on it. We'll see. I'm not sure if he's going to update these. We'll find out. If he doesn't, it's going to be interesting because some boats will have this effect and some boats will not. And that is like kind of wild. Yeah. And then I have to search for this because all right, we don't have MIF. That's good. Because one of the mods I want to install needs CIF. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting if I had both. Okay, let's get the config file and see what this baby does. I'll find out just how compatible is it exactly. Either way, we're done with this. After which we have dynamic armor physics. That is something that interests me. I want to see how it feels in game. But you need SIF. And that's what I was looking at. And so we go and take that. I'm not sure what... yeah. There you go. Your warning over there. Yeah, I'll get that. I'm interested in the fixes this does, like some very subtle things. Even though it's just a framework and does nothing on its own, it does have some really, really small changes that are kind of cute. So, for example, with Vanilla Skyrim, you can see this is like wrongly oriented, whereas this is like correctly oriented. It follows the sword's, trajectory. Anyway, very minor. And then you can see it fixes like this thing, like that. There's a sword there. You can't see it, but it's a sword, which is still attached to a person who is dead, and the sword has ragdolled away from the corpse. But because it's part of the corpse, when you hit it, it bleeds. Whereas with this one, it doesn't. Yeah, minor things. Mostly we want it because it's a prerequisite for the other one that I want. We're gonna try it. We're gonna see what happens. Easy as that. I hope it does not fuck up anything. But even if it does, I'll remove it and then everything will be okay. Either way, obviously we're gonna take the MCM version because yeah, fuck having to go through INI files. And then finally we have another mod that I want to check. And that one confuses me because I could have sworn I have another one that does the exact same job, but I can't find it. I will see. I'll show it to you. Beautiful. So now let's get this one. Yes, yes, we have everything there. That, oh, okay. I like the latest version. I mean, okay. Fair enough, I guess. As always, I'm going to do an update as well. I feel most updates happen on Friday or Saturday. It's a bit early for the US or late, depending how you see it. So maybe I should wait until tomorrow with updating, just to catch potential people living in the US whose mods I use, and they might update on a Saturday, which they like to do, or maybe they updated yesterday. Who knows? But since we're playing on Monday, I don't like updating on the same day that we're playing, if I can avoid it. Well, there we go. That's in. Goodbye, sir. And then this. Hooray. Ongoing project to remove the ugly orb-like glow from message. So anything that removes this effect from my game is to me very welcome. I really like that. The problem is that I already have these guys' mods are great. But anyway, I made this for my lighting mod, placed lights, right? So this is something that we have been using with Neris. It seems to complement that mode, so I definitely want to try it. Skeleton replacer, skeleton CC. Either way, we're taking it. Seems simple enough, seems easy enough. I am going to take it. And we're going to see where it takes us. Now, before I continue, I don't even know if I have from Dwemer light sources. Sure. What the fuck is skeleton HD? Whatever. Yeah, I'm not ever gonna use a skeleton mod, so texture glow. Blank textures removes fake glow as seen here on the candles. Blank textures should override everything or else this will not work. Cool. This fake glow. Okay. Removes the bright beams like the one seen in the screenshots. Yeah, because you wouldn't see. I mean, it really depends, doesn't it? Only for Dwemer locations. I would have to see it. I would have to see it, honestly. You know why it's good to remove it? I'll tell you, it doesn't look realistic. It should be like this. But then it would be too much. So from the two evils, I'll pick not having the beam, I think. But then again, I have to see it before I say anything. And we have very predictable unresolved file conflicts, and I'll take a look and see what they are so that you don't have to. Though, of course, I realize that, our lists might be extremely different, or not might, but definitely. Um, but, I have a lot of mods. Maybe you have one of them. Maybe you'll see something that is interesting to you as information. So, yeah, we'll get through the file conflicts. I mean, besides, if I don't, then, I can't run the game. But yeah, anything that removes like visual clutter is to me quite good. Any fake lights and such. I'm not gonna go into, what do you call it? I'm not gonna go into True Light and check check the lanterns issue I'm having. I'm not gonna do that. I will leave that for last. Embers, okay. Yeah, because Embers does remove some glows. That's true. And all of this seems, and particle patch does that as well. So why the fuck not? Let's fucking see. It should be almost non-consequential because they all of these do the same thing, as you can see. So it should be completely non-consequential, I believe. And mesh glow removal should take precedence, I'm pretty sure. Embers wants to be after. I mean, it could happen, right? But I really think that, like, we can approach it this the other way. We can say that, for example, Embers does its own thing, and we use this as a basis. Anything that, for example, these specific modes don't catch. Therefore, I'm thinking I will do the opposite of what I said. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So this is going to be our basis, right? So before, and this should be after, though, because that's just like that needs to replace this. Ruins Clutter improved. It needs to replace that. And definitely SMIM. So these two will be the exception where it needs to go after them. But any other specific mode you have that might actually be removing stuff? Yeah. And let's search to make sure that there is nothing weird. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. It is well-behaved mode. Okay. And while this is happening, let me check here. I got a Discord message and I have to answer that 1 second. Anyway, we'll see what comes out of that. There is a follow mode or a follow-up mode for this. And it is this, dancing lights. So on this one, I am very, very torn. I'm really very torn on this one. I love the concept. The execution is strange. So it's a simple mod. So you can't see it in the pictures, obviously, and it's kind of silly to have pictures for this one. But fortunately, some people have videos. I don't remember which one is the most ideal, but whatever. You will get the idea, though. So this effect is the idea. That's the idea of the mod. So basically, any fire source in particular will produce this flickering. And depending on the light source, you can see that the intensity also changes. So for candles, it's much smaller, but for fire pits, it's like bigger. But then I saw some videos more like this, for example. Look at this. This I feel would probably be problematic for your eyes. If you looked at this wall for more than 10 seconds, you would be like, what's going on? Like, your eyes are gonna be tired after a while. This is very clearly like a gaming concession, in my opinion. Moving lights like this um, might be too tiring. That's my only critique, let's say. Like, as you can see, they're a little bit like police car or ambulance lights at this point, just flickering like that, like, left, right, left, right. And so I am not so sure. I feel like this is something you have to test for yourself. I don't know what you think about it. It does have some merits. It does have some merits. Like this subtle animation change makes the world look a little bit less static, right? And because of how Skyrim's like dungeons are, especially, anything that adds a little bit of life is like, greatly appreciated. Now, how annoying that's gonna be, I just don't know. I'm gonna have to see. And this requires true light. All right. Problem is, of course, we use a more recent version of True Light, I'm pretty sure. So I might not even be able to use it yet. Yeah. We'll see. It might be that we have to do this. Though I'm curious because this doesn't include True Light. And True Light doesn't include, the CS stuff. So I'm kind of like, what's going on? Some people like me use them both, right? So what's going on there? Yep. So I'm really just for the CS Lite version. Yeah, I will read your description even more thoroughly. It would seem that the version I need is this. I do have Windows Shadows Ultimate. Sorry, I do have True Light. I do have CS. However, I'm just curious now because in this one he doesn't really say, "Oh, this is CS compatible," whereas here, um, yeah. So I'm just wondering which one I should get. I'm gonna say um, this requires Dancing Lights Vanilla. Okay. So I don't have Relighting Skyrim. In the end, I just think I should use this one. It's a little bit of a, it's a little bit random, but I feel I should use this. Somebody suggested a solution. Where is it? Create a dummy plugin. So basically, literally just a text file, which you change the extension of to be ESP. You would have to remember to remove it once this guy returns after an AFK month. And unfortunately, that AFK month is gonna end on like what? Apparently, 20th of July, like towards the end of August. Sorry. Until then, you can do this workaround, which we will try together as it is right now. It shouldn't be that hard. Let me copy exactly the name, just like that. And we're gonna try it and see what happens. All right. Sorry, I'm just very tired. I have had a very rough night. It's because just flatmate trouble. Honestly, that's what it is. And yeah, I'm gonna take care of that like permanently very soon because it's getting to a point where yeah, my quality of life is affected. So yeah. Anyway, never mind that. Just a small rant. So let's do a new text document. I would assume. Let's make it like this. Then, how do you do that again? You know what? I'll just do it in a very scuffed way. And in here, I'll just select. Where is the extensions? Maybe more options. Customize this folder. Yeah, maybe. Why can't I remember how you fucking do this? Ah. Maybe show file name extensions. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't want you to be that. I want you to be something else for me. I want you to be an ESP for me. Yes. There you go. Yeah. I don't know if this applies to everything, but I'll just turn it off just in case. All right. Delete that shit. Actually, why would you delete it? You could wait. I'm assuming I'm gonna have to turn this into yeah, like that. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I should even like in here. Maybe I should have like another folder. You know, so that it goes exactly where it needs to go. Right? There is shouldn't that be data or something? What should that be? I think it's data, right? You just put it in a folder called data, I'm pretty sure. Well, you just leave it like this and it'll just go where it wants to. It'll put it in the data folder. Yeah, but why take the risk? Or not risk, there is no risk involved. Yeah, I can. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, it has to go into data, I'm pretty sure. That's where all the ASPs are. So I'll just do that. I'll just do that. 1 second. Just to be sure, because, yeah, I'm just tired. I was very tired. And then just like compress that to zip file, which we will rename like this. And now the structure should be correct. So that's the quote unquote mod, and then if you open it's like that. So now I can just install from file and go to desktop and get that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And I will also like just give it to you. Let me just throw it to you. There you go. And all this just to test the mod, by the way, just saying. Just to test if I like it. I don't even know if I like that shit. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the version we should have. Because it does have true lights. So, you know. Yeah, I mean, you can wait because, like, I'm just gonna test it for you right now. Right in front of your very eyes, I'll test it. And then you can see. What? Bro, are you okay? What? Bro, are you feeling alright? I don't see any disabled plugin. Some plugins were invalid. God fucking damn it. What do you feel about that? That's normal. What do you feel about that? About that error? Remove for now. Okay. Yeah, that's what I feel as well. Yep. Yep. That failed horribly. I can add it manually. So not through Vortex. Could try that. I will. I'll just try like dropping it in there. And see what happens if it's just in there. Let's see if that sorted out the problem, first of all. Second of all, yeah, let's try to just do it manually and see what happens, if that changes anything. Delete. Okay. And then we will go into here, I guess. Wait, no, that's not it. Rather into here, and into here. Maybe I'll open it afterwards, wait. Let it finish first. You know what? First, I'm gonna run it without this. That's what I'm gonna do first. All right, very nice. Yes, okay, beautiful. Why don't I just try now? You know? Let's try now. Where is it? So this is called TL bulbs ISL. Okay. Poop. Okay. Now let's see what happens. Ah. You see, it doesn't like it. It reacts. Yep, poopies. All right, well, poopies. But I'll still try the mod, see what happens. Let's confirm also. Our version of True Light is 365. Older than 3.6 for now. Well, let's figure out what's going on, right? Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's just try it. It's amazing. It is amazing. Some unresolved conflicts. I wonder about that. I'm not even sure I want this. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even sure I want this. Exactly because of what I said. Like, it. Wow. Okay. Cool. It's like. We'll see. We shall see. And now this is the complaint of TL Bulbs ASL ESP. Yeah. So this cannot be used legitimately. This goes into the watch list. Unfortunately, we will not be testing this today. Uninstall that, and it goes into the watch list. See whether it gets updated or not at one point. So I'll just leave it here down at the end, and we'll decide. See if the guy returns, what he does with the mod. Yeah. God, I have such a headache. But yeah, that's the stream today. Like that's what we're gonna be doing today. Just this, what you see. And I put it in the category of Skyrim because, well, it's super Skyrim related. So obviously it's gonna go there. All right, all the warnings have been removed. That is amazing. And then I will also remove this. Yes, remove that shit. Thank you. And it stays there. Okay. Now this I only keep because I need instructions. So it's just gonna go all the way to the end. I need to make sure that it is configured properly in game. I will not do that now. Probably not tomorrow either. But yeah, the only reason I need it is for the description. Let's see what else we have. We have this. Now this is something I'm not sure how to test reliably, but it's a very nice idea. And it is when there's rainy weather, you leave splashes, right? However, however, it has an issue similar to the one um, that we've had before with snow, where I don't even remember how we solved that. It had to do with footprints. And I'll be honest here, I'm not even sure if I need this. I know for a fact that we do leave like footprints in the snow, right? But for a while we had this issue where there would be some kind of like texture there, like this, where it was meant to simulate, a bit of snow just popping up on your footstep, which was a good idea. Don't get me wrong, it was a great idea, honestly. Um, but we had issues with it because it looked way too bright for how our snow looked. We fixed that. Now the issue is I don't fucking remember if that same mod that does that actually also does this. Curious, right? Not only that, but it turns out that this one, as it is at least now, and the author doesn't care to adjust that either. Because he says likely depends on your setup, which is correct. He can't really do anything about that. He could offer darker textures. I don't think he does. And so some people made their own textures, but they can't actually share them. And so I'm not gonna sit there and do the same. And so I want to test this. I want to see what it looks like. First, I want to go in game and see if I have splashes when I'm walking around in the rain. So we're gonna do the very boring thing of like waiting until there is rain. um, there might be a way to force weather, but I don't remember how. It's been a while since I've ever had to do something like that. I guess I could. I guess I could just take a look or something. But yeah, I want to test this. Like that is to me interesting. Um, Especially my current setup doesn't do that. Anyway, this is from the AI bro, and it seems that the latest Embers XD does that. I don't know if you can see the difference here, but it removes this and then adds this. And what this does is like, yeah, it just fixes that. That's all. That's what it does. Yeah. Yeah. Just remove the base object swapper file from the base Ember mods or don't select it. Why wouldn't you though? Ember 60 patch from GS. I'm not sure what the fuck GS is. Maybe this is only for Grand Solitude? It is, alright, so I read wrong and I don't need it, okay. Then we have this. Don't worry about that. we're gonna go through that. Not this Saturday though. Um, what was I saying? Yeah, these two, right? These two. Um, it's community shaders. My God. If this is a joke, the only reason I'm not getting it is because I could definitely believe there is a mod called community shaders instead of community shaders. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that was the most likely case, but I wasn't gonna laugh until I confirmed because you know how Skyrim modders are. It would have been absolutely believable if you told me, well, somebody came up with like community shaders instead of community shaders and posted that on Nexus. Like, I would believe it. But now that you confirmed it's a joke, that was a good one. Um, Now, I do eventually want this. However, this needs a patch for this. If you go here, planned patches, right? Fix Rift and window consistency. So, well, this. Which this in and on itself is a successor to Riften, all right? Which I'm currently using. If I remember correctly, I think I'm using it. But one sec. I'm back. Where were we? So, we were in like here. Yeah, I was explaining that I think I have Riften, but not fixed because I'm waiting for the patch. So this one cannot go in yet, but it will go in for sure. The next mod I wanted to check was this, which, listen, I don't know. I think you understand what this does. Just by looking at the pictures, it will, you get it, right? To avoid this, it does this. Like, you know what I mean? Instead of allowing it to clip through, it triggers this animation depending on the proximity and shape of, well, stairs. Okay, so that you don't get like this ugly effect. I want to try it. It looks innocent. Okay. We do have flick. It's useful to have. And so you could take it or you could not take it, you know? It even explains here on slopes and stairs, your heel finds the ground while the front of the foot floats through the air or clips into it. And the engine simply switches foot IK, so inverse kinematics, off. This mod ships two solvers unless you pick one in game. Fit of Skyrim solver, default, and then vanilla in gen, or and you know, and they both get like this shit. So I'm very curious because it says it's compatible with everything, right? And so, known quirks, the experimental toggles, creature food I get, adaptive gains, ship off by default, briefly tested, use at on risk. The creature option derives like geometry from bone names. In the current pose, word custom skeletons may get odd results, report them, blah blah. Very long boots and claws, can overshoot on stairs. That's what the toe reach scale slider is for. Custom solver plans height and foot pitch. It does not yet simulate foot locking. Yeah, you tell me. Sir, what is it? Sir, what is this number? Uh, isn't this like, isn't the VG some kind of like, what is it? Oh, I have that. And this one says it conflicts. Will shake up and down quickly in these animations. This mod breaks EVG travel animations sometimes, like Sky parkour, blah blah. +1, +1. In which case, brew, I have never sat there and noticed this. I mean, I know it happens. I've seen it, right? But you have to really see it. You know, you have to like look at it, like decide to literally look at it, you know. In most cases, you will not even realize this is happening. Like you really won't. Okay, in most cases. So this one goes into the list of maybe once it gets fixed or something, you know, and I will put this one in the same category. And for range pluses, I will say, yeah, I want to wait, not vivid routines, sorry, Windows Autos Ultimate. This is just for reading, so I'll put it last. No, sorry, not for reading, but you know, this is for reading, and I'll put it here. And this one even lower because we're just waiting for an update. Actually, you know what? I'll put it like this. All right. So yeah, I'll check range pluses today, if I even have them, and if I don't have them, then I'll test the mode. Okay. Then we have vivid routines, which is like a mega AI, because it's the AI bro. It did get updated recently. However, yeah, 40% completed, and it probably won't conflict. And well, it's my goal to make it patchless. That is nice. So we're waiting for that one. We're definitely waiting because I am looking for an alternative to AI overhaul. There has been, you know, a successor, sorry. A successor to AI overhaul has been long overdue. Even if it's AI bro who does it, I'm not gonna discriminate. And besides, he says so. It's not like he's hiding it. He couldn't if he wanted to. But like, especially with a picture like this. But I think I will much prefer it to AI overhaul. And of course, immersive citizens, or what was it? Immersive something something. I don't remember. That one was like a fucking nightmare. AI overhaul is much less of a nightmare, but uh, yeah, it needs something new. So with this one, we are just waiting for now. I'll put it there. And then we have two more. There is this, also long overdue, like a really feature complete Thieves Guild overhaul. I hope the guy does Brotherhood as well. You know. Um, However, as of now, It has certain issues. Um, so yeah, there's a patch for this. Incompatible with Hifki's requirement, but you can remove that at your pace, at your own pace. It means eventually, what I'm waiting for is to see if this shit is going to be true for all the Thieves Guild mods I have. Once that is true, so I'm waiting basically for a version or two, you know? Things to do. Allow players to clear their bounties by paying the guild. Let player access Mercer's home. Makes a patch for Thieves Guild, whatever. And reputation. Alright, well, we're waiting a little bit. I like it. So yeah, we'll wait a bit more. See what happens. End of summer maybe. Then I'll just plonk it in there. But we're waiting for a patch or two. Therefore, it goes into here. And maybe even above it because I just like it that much. Now it's time to decide about snazzy player homes and shit. This thing. Range splashes, as I said, let me put it here so I take it. Snazzy player homes is part of the snazzy thingy. Okay, this guy does it. He has a lot that I want to get. I'm really thinking we should grab it. I'm really, really thinking we should grab it. He has some really nice stuff. All this snazzy bullshit, which I call it bullshit, but no, it's actually really good. It would be an undertaking to do this. However, I feel um, huh, would you look at that? Ooh, cool. Some improvements to everyone's favorites meme. But yeah, I'm thinking I want this. I'm thinking that next week I will go through this and I will install every single one. And I hope that this will improve the spaces that we go through. For example, if you see some before and after, it's like, come on. This is very 2010. This is, yeah. Like, come on. It's, you know. And this is his general style of how to do things. So, yeah, I mean, you cannot tell me that you don't like this. Like, come on, dude. I'd say it makes the spaces a little bit more believable. I'd say. Mind you, he's using his own like texture setup, right? So the way we're gonna be seeing these items is the way that we see the equivalent textures in the game in our setup. So it's not gonna look like exactly like this, but just even the placement and the props that he uses, that's what I want. Like to make it feel a little bit like, you know what I mean? It's a little bit better, a little bit more homey and lived in, as opposed to like, yeah, you get it. You get what I'm saying. It's a little bit better, right? To be critical of this, I will say I can understand how you could argue that like it might be a little bit more cluttered Because, for example, these designs leave the center of the room, they leave a clear path, right, to the stairs here. This one will have this little table here, so the path is slightly obstructed. But I think it's worth it. You know? And it also makes a little bit more sense to not sleep where you eat. Because, like, what is this? Like, you know, this is like bad quality of life. This is good quality of life. The beds have been moved downstairs, for example, it's better. So, you know, some reasonable changes, I'd say. And yeah, even the exteriors are kind of more curated. I'm not a fan of the billion fairs on walls, but you know, I do think this will be reasonable. Also, it changes the very boring setup of inns, which is all the inns are the same. Whereas with this one, there is some added differences that will be better, in my opinion. And he follows the same idea everywhere, which to me is good for consistency. And honestly, I can't wait to get rid of this setup in every single inn that we meet, you know, that we go to. So yeah, I don't know what you think. Anyway, yeah, like look at this. It's the same as the other one, isn't it? It's literally the same. This is vanilla, by the way. This is literally the same. But then he changes it to this. So you cannot tell me that like this will not add some, you know, some difference. So in my opinion, we should probably grab this, like the whole series, I think, and use it as you know how some people have like, you know, custom cities and all that, and it's a patch hell and everything. So this guy's approach is far more vanilla friendly and very modular. Like you can choose what you want to do and everything. And as long as the nav messes work, as long as the idle markers work and the interactable markers work, and he hasn't fucked up in some way, then I think this is like a huge W. I don't know. And I think it's a very nice finishing touch for our installation, right? I really think it's a good finishing touch to really make it pop visually. And it's something that we don't have to wait for these to be installed. Like we can just like start doing this. We can start installing these things, you know. So I'm thinking from next week, maybe Wednesday, we slowly get into it and like, you know, install the first 10 because like yeah, the you know, he has a lot. And so I'm thinking, yeah, install like the first batch of things and then slowly as we go, since it doesn't need to be in one go, we can start like, you know, replacing them. That's what I feel. And we can get the all in ones and be done with that shit, you know? That's what I think. I don't know. Yeah. So I'm thinking we do this. So this one is very high priority and I will leave it here. Now, the rain splashes thing. Um fuck, one sec. I booped my microphone and it kind of like swiveled around. Come on. There we go. Perfect. Okay. That's what I'm thinking. So let me just go in there and see what the fuck we see. And check the rain thing, right? And also one sec, what's going on there? Hey, that's good. Sorry, I was just looking at something on Discord. All right, let's go in and see. I didn't deploy mods or anything, so that might actually be a problem, but yeah. I want to see what kind of atrocities we'll encounter. After which I'll go. I never stay for long on a Saturday. Maybe a couple of hours at most. Hui. See what I mean though? Like the stuff I go through for you, which you never asked for, but still. And just to be very clear, I'm not gonna play. I just want to see if it will crash, if if anything will happen that shouldn't be happening, stuff like that. And I'd even say the rain splashes thing, we can just wait and observe naturally. I don't have to force it. Like if it rains, I can just see if I produce any splashes when I walk, as it happens naturally while I'm gaming Mondays and Tuesdays. Sorry. We're definitely not gonna sit here, but maybe it's raining outside. Who knows? This is the save I'm gonna use on Monday, but it's where we were last time, so I'm not gonna save no matter what. But yeah, I would like to see. Also, something interesting that I saw. Can you tell that it disabled the thing? Wait, if you see there, I don't have it enabled, and I think, as much as I prefer, like, look, as much as I prefer cel shading generally, I think it muddies it too much at this point. What do you think? Take a moment to notice the details with cel shading. And then without it. And then again with it. You would see it easily if I was outside, perhaps. There are boats in Solitude. I could head over to the docks and check that.
Clear skies.
And if we're lucky, it's gonna be raining. Nope, it's not. And also, it is very dark. Which is unfortunate. Ah, and this is gone. No longer here. The whole, reverie. Let's head over to the docks. For you. Lola,
No
what?
sudden moves, or try anything, and I'll rip you apart. Now come with me very quietly. Call the guard and you'll be very sorry. Don't make me get row with you.
That's like... Bro, don't make me do this to you. Don't make me fucking find you. Wait, how do you find him? Like this. Okay. Alright, buddy. Get ready for something that you will not like. Isn't the command like kill or something? I'm gonna enjoy that. I think it's kill, right? You just type kill. And it kills him, I'm pretty sure. What's this, buddy?
See how tough you can be even after being exposed and humiliated in front of people.
Ah, what? He got me. Ah, you fucker. Alright, let me reset the encounter. Wait, I can't even Alt F4? What? That shouldn't be the case. What if I Alt F4 again? Don't you ever think about borrowing a single gold from loan sharks? Those miserable beings go to hell. Okay, so I guess the script of this mod thinks that I borrowed gold. And we're getting like attacked because of that? Okay. I didn't borrow any gold though. At least as far as I know. I know the innkeepers have the option to do so, but you'd have to click that, and we haven't ever clicked it. I guess it might be a side effect of like having all those mods disabled, but they're still kicking in apparently every once in a million, even with 0.0 chance. And disabled, by the way, which I have triple, quadruple checked at this point. It seems like they still kick in. That's interesting. Either way, let's go back in there. Well, at least we know for a fact that like, if you were going to use this mod in your setup, and if you know which one it is, and you know, and that's it. I'm not gonna say much more about it because it's not the center of attention here. At least now you know that it does have certain thresholds apparently, because this happens only under like very specific conditions apparently. The only problem I have with it is that why does it start if I've disabled it? We must have loaded the game like 100,000 times at this point, and it has happened precisely twice. I wonder. Either way, I'm getting to the docks and I'm checking the fucking boat bobbing thing no matter what. Oops. It's interesting that it was tied to borrowing gold. Whereas we haven't borrowed any gold, as I said, so that might be a little bit borked. Either way, let's use it. Okay, that's one way to equip a torch.
Clear skies.
And I'm using a torch because this time I would like to check. Oh, I can't run when I have the torch? It's a bit of a shame. At least we can see it is affected by the wind. Though the wind seems to be blowing that way, right? Is it the same way as the snow, though? Not quite. Aren't the dogs like... No, they're outside the city, right? Okay, let's go and see. Let's go and find out. Since we're here. I wish it was raining, though. You know what I can do? Oh, with a torch? Okay, well that's interesting. Why not burn your own glider, right? That said, we're already there. Oops. Okay. Well, it's definitely bobbing, I can tell you that. What happens if I... What happens if I just... I mean, that's a heavy boat, right? So it wouldn't do it. But, like, the one over there, that should do it. That one over there. Okay. Damn, Jack Sparrow. Alright, are you ready for this? The moment of truth. Boing. Oh. Well... Yeah, it works. You can even see the, you know, the glitch that we were seeing in the presentation on the side. Like, yeah, it works. And it seems to work with bobbing bows as well. Now the problem with this is it is sensitive enough. Hi, how are you doing? You see what the problem is here? You're gonna have to live with this. You know? You're gonna have to live with this. Yeah, the moment I go there and I see the boat's weight, let's say, we have this problem. Because it clips through, and that is something that you just literally have to live with that. Like, you're just gonna have to accept that. If you want the mod, you're gonna have to accept that. I'm not sure if I'm willing to. Would you be willing to? I'm not sure. I'm so 50-50 on it. Like, I like the idea a lot. It's a very good idea. But... yeah, you balance over there like the feline acrobat that you are. Yeah, it's a good idea. And we burn through our torch. Now, if it would only snow, right? Either way, nice shooting star. Either way, let's go into the inn. Because that's where we will see a bit more of cell shading on and off. But everything seems stable. You know, as stable as Skyrim can be, that is. And let me also notice something else. I would have to find... I can't find it now, can I? I want to test, or rather to like see, notice, if you will, the ground stuff that we fixed. you know, the terrain stuff that we fixed. But it would be hard to do without the source of light. What was the other hand? Fuck. What was the other hand? How do you cast if you have it on your other hand? I can't fucking remember where we set it. F was a power attack, so it's not that. It was something else. It was I struggle to find it. So no, right click is nothing right now. Right click does nothing. I'm pressing it. We have to go and do exactly what the guy is saying in the instructions for left hand cast attack and whatever. The mod I basically have. Then you need to set in controls and possibly in F2. Yeah, definitely I do. Definitely yes. I do. But I won't now. And I think I don't even need to actually set it up. Because what I need to do is just like follow the instructions on that left hand cast attack or whatever. That's all we need to do. But I do like the you know, the terrain smoothness. I do like that. And for that, cell shading actually helps because I can see the outlines of the ground and how jagged it is, or was. Whereas right now it's like everything looks smoother, you know, if that makes sense. Anyway.
Welcome to the Winking
Inn,
Steamer.
where the worst decisions tend to happen.
Alright, so this is cell shading, of course. And so this is without then. And I think I might want to keep it without at this point. What do you think? I think it has served its purpose. It was a nice experiment, but yeah. Right? And you can really see the difference when I'm using this, for example, and I light the place up. Yeah? I think it might be time to dump it. I mean, it did what it wanted. It did what I wanted it to do, right? Like, look at this plant, for example. Come on. Right? Cleaner, right? I think you also prefer it like...
I do suppose thanks are in order. So, my thanks.
Keep them. So I think I'll keep it like without. What do you feel about that? And now we're gonna go and notice the smoothness thing. Obviously, don't pay attention to the clear separation there. We're not supposed to ever, you know, see this from this height and distance. And once you go close, it just looks like much, much better. Anyway, so let me show you another example of cell shading in visually busy locations like this. You can see it, right? Obviously. Better? I'd say it is. Like, I like cell shading. I wish I could keep it to the character only. That would be like the ideal. But if you can't do that, then I think it's better for it to be off. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just better for it to be off. I really wanted it for my character though, but like, yeah, what are you gonna do? Because this is already busy enough visually. Now if you do this, sure, it has some aesthetic that I can appreciate, but honestly, I mostly wish it was on my character. Yeah? So I think from now on, we go without it. That's what I think. It is far more pleasing to the eye, I'd say. And you avoid this like jittering as well, you know? It looks smoother, more quiet. Don't mind the blurriness. The blurriness is because I'm fucking freezing. And it does that distortion, which I'm not really a fan of. I'm not a huge fan of that. Nor have I ever heard or experienced that shit. Oh my fucking god. Can you just let me test shit in quiet and peace, Mr. Crab? I didn't want to... yeah, that's right. Fuck off. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so now that with that sorted, this is for example like this right here, and for this example I will actually use cell shading to show you because you can see the outline. So this part here and other parts like it used to be like boom boom, you know, you get it. It was like very cut off. How can I explain it? Too geometrical, too symmetrical, and too like, you know, straight lines everywhere. Where here, as you can now see, there are small gentle curves everywhere that very naturally complement the scenery. Like here, this will be cut off, for example. You know, I think this mod is worth it because you don't notice like the jaggedness here too much along the shores. And of course the mods, like the mod's homepage itself on Nexus does actually show it far more competently, but I wanted to find my own example and I did, so you know, I feel like it's better. And this is not because of that mod, this is just how things are, I guess you can say. Somebody missed something here, some kind of grass fixes for land mods or something, probably missed this part or misplaced this texture, but we don't care about that. This is shit you learn to live with.
But like in general, I'd say the smoothness is much better than the usual jaggedness that we see. I'm pretty sure this, for example, would have been just a straight line there. Whereas now, this is like a curve. So, I like that. I am freezing so much that I hate the effect right now. But yeah, I think that mode was worth it, for sure. And yeah, I'll disable... So the frost effect, I get why. I get why, for real. But I think it's too strong and it makes my eyes kind of like hurt. Like I'm struggling. You cannot probably see it too well. But trust me, for me this is painful almost. Like I don't like my eyes suffering every time that I'm cold. Because it's Skyrim and you're gonna be cold very often with your character. So I think this effect, this like lens distortion, I think it needs to go. I think it needs to go. It is very tiring to the eyes, I believe. So for that you would go into Sandhelm, over here somewhere, there, and you would be like, where is it? Is it cold? Probably, right? There, you would toggle that off because, yeah, this is like much better. This is much better. Like, you know. And I think I'll keep it like that. I'm not even sure I like the slow effect of being cold because it inadvertently amplifies the effect of frost spells. I fucking hate that. The subtle slowing from frost can already be annoying if it stacks too much. Okay, even though we've tried our best to mitigate it through balancing. But it's still annoying enough to make frost a distinct spell, you know. Frost spells make them distinct from other spells, like their effect. But I think the slowdown I'm starting to just really not like. So this effect here. Where is it? 25% slower, like, yeah. Like, it doesn't look good with the animations, it looks goofy. I know you can argue that, like, oh yeah, you know, you're slower and all that. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I really do get it. But you have to make a gaming and balance concession here. So a gameplay and balance concession here because it really stacks. It stacks really hard. So if somebody was to use a frost spell on me right now, right, I would literally stop completely moving or something. And I hate that. So I'm
Sometimes
thinking
I
if we're
forget
doing
how
anything
busy
as
I
well,
am.
like any complementary changes, it should be... where is it? I don't want to completely remove it, but if I can just... let's see. Yeah, I think cold is separately here. And yeah, toggling cold would be... That's now a little bit of a... It's a little bit... I have to find a workaround here. I don't know how, but we need to find a workaround. It is... Like, look at this shit. And how long has passed? Like, seriously, how long has passed here? Did I wait a couple of minutes while I was talking? 5 minutes, maybe? And my character is barely able to move. Bro. How can you do this? You know, it just doesn't make sense. Like, temperatures like that to the point where you literally cannot move. You're starting to just be unable to move. Temperatures like that. They're not that common. Honestly. Go to fucking Finland. Alright, go to Finland. You're not gonna, like, even if you expose yourself, right? Even if you expose yourself for like 10-20 minutes wearing like reasonable clothing, you know, a jacket, you're wearing your normal clothes, you're wearing your gloves, you're wearing like, you know, stuff like that, right? Don't mind me. I'm like, I'm not dressed well for this weather, obviously in game, because what you're wearing actually matters in this one, which that's awesome, you know, obviously. But let me put it this way. I've told you what I wear when I go clubbing, right? And mind you, we're talking about Greece. I take that into account in my story, okay? But this, like how I'm dressed in the game, is close to what I would be wearing in real life to go clubbing. And because I hate the sensation of like fabric on myself, and I'm too used to this, right? Which is also why when I'm at home, I usually wear just like, you know, just some stockings, some hold-up stockings, like, you know, my underwear. I just don't like wearing clothes. I like my body being exposed. I don't know why, but it's just how I am. So when I club, and that was just for context, when I go out for a night, right, and it's winter in Greece, and it's like 5 degrees or something, I still feel fine. So you could say this is individual to me, perhaps, because I've always been kind of like somebody who likes cold, somebody who enjoys cold. I enjoy the sensation. I really like it. I don't know if I could swim in winter. I've never tried. Has never occurred to me to try. But I have good tolerance with temperature, with low temperatures. I'm used to it, kinda. So I'm thinking this is Skyrim, right? So I find it impossible that your character is literally just so frozen that you're unable to even walk. Also, this is a bit of a bug because the fire is extinguished, but we are getting warm, right? So that's kind of weird, isn't it? Could be the sun, of course. Could be the weather. Could be a billion things. It's not necessarily that this is a bug with the fire. So who knows? Maybe it's getting warmer as well, like the weather itself. But anyway, back to the point. And I do hope it wasn't a bug. Ah, okay, so it is because I'm exposed to the sun now. Okay, I see. Otherwise, that icon up there would have, you know, would have not been there. So it is that the temperature is changing to warmer, apparently. But just 5 minutes of being exposed to this kind of cold shouldn't have the effect of like minus 50% like speed. Like Jesus, it doesn't work like that. It's dramatized is what I'm trying to say. It's like overly dramatized, and if you're living in Skyrim, you know, if you're living in Skyrim, dude, you're used to that shit. You're used to that shit. Not to mention all of Skyrim is like this. Or sorry, not all of Skyrim is like this. It's not frozen wastes everywhere.
Now where is that blasted map?
You know, we are just like in a certain place where that makes sense, right here, you know. But not all of Skyrim is like this. So it's not like it's frozen hell wastes of death or something. Yeah, it can be cold, but I've been in climates like this in Greece. You know, in winter we do get parts of Greece that are definitely like that. Even worse. Even worse, actually. Like everything covered in snow. I've been there. I've spent days there with my father. You don't get this drop of temperature where literally you are just being slowed down. You can't walk, like you're just literally frigid and you get the point. I don't want to continue with this conversation. You got the point. If you didn't, then what can I tell you? Like, whatever. If you didn't, then we just agree to disagree or something, but you're wrong. And I know I'm right on this one. Point being, I wanted to disable that, but apparently, I don't know, apparently we can't. So either you're never gonna be affected by cold, and at this point I'm starting to think that might be realistic. Not even joking. Or you have to live with a speed decrease. What's your opinion? Because I'm leaning heavily towards disabling cold effects. Because they are far more a detriment than they are an enjoyment to experience the game as a gameplay element. And to me they are not realistic. I would find it far more realistic if it happened only if you're drenched. Like if I go in water, if I go right here, for example, and I swim here along the coast, which everything is frozen here, and there's like icebergs. And if you swim, then yeah, if you swim and then you go out, then you're freezing. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. Your clothes are frozen, they're sticking on you. You know, you can't dry out. It's yeah, I understand it then. But you can't have that. It doesn't have that kind of like customizability. Is that a word? But yeah, you can't toggle too much. You can either toggle it on or off, and that's it. That's the control we have over it. Now, don't get me wrong, like Sunhelm is a great mod. It's a great mod. I think it's better than the vanilla survival mode. And I think it's better than a lot of other mods as well that are survival mods. But the cold element is just, to me personally, right? If I'm low-key role-playing my character, which I am all the time, okay, I'm always soft role-playing. Always. Even if you can't tell, I am. I promise you that. Like in the dialogues I choose, in like, yeah, you know. So if I'm low-key role-playing this, I wouldn't be freezing to the point of not being able to move within 5 minutes in this climate. And the only concession I make is because I like the clothes, right? And which I admit is unrealistic, is that I'm wearing very little. Like a lot of my skin is exposed. Which, just like in real life, you know. And so, and when you see me on camera, when I'm wearing like, I'm wearing my hoodie, for example, I do that because I don't want to get in trouble with Twitch. But normally normally I'm that exposed, like, as much as I can. Like, I don't really, I'm not what you call them. I'm not like I don't remember how it's called, where you like to be naked or something. I don't like that. I hate being naked, actually. I really hate being naked. I don't like being naked. Not even in bed or whatever. Not even in intimate moments, for example. I really don't like it. And I love clothes in general. I like accessories. I like clothing. I like, you know, I like stylish clothing, whatever. I really like that shit. So yeah, but anyway, I think I'm going on a tangent here, but it's Saturday, whatever. You can take it. I really think I'll just disable it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. And I think a person like your character as well, you're supposed to be really, really special as well. So there is also the power fantasy of things, right? I don't think your character would have, or you rather, I don't think you would have much of an issue believing that your character is just used to this. after slaying like Draugr and giant spiders and like fighting frost mages and like come on now, necromancers, vampires, like yeah, it's just you can be like, yeah, I can wear what I want, you know, and weather shouldn't affect you that much because if you're even half as resistant to weather and temperature in real life as I am, then this shouldn't be that much of a problem. So the only concession would be the clothing. So here, for example, I would prefer to be wearing like at least a sweater or something. Obviously, you know, if I'm gonna be here for too long. Because I will assume this is like what? This is like near zero? I don't know. It looks like near zero or something. I don't think it looks minus. Believe it or not, I don't think like... At least by my pathetic Greek standards when it comes to winters, this doesn't look like minus. This looks around zero, I'd say. Single digit, you know? Single digits, either minus or plus. Maybe. You know, that kind of thing. Because I've been near bodies of water in Greece that have frozen over and everything. I've walked on that shit. You know, it's not that cold. It really isn't, at least to me. Not to the point where you would be like, okay, yeah, like minus 50% movement. You know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. I'm not a fucking meteorologist. I'm just talking like... I'm just like trying to approximate what I think the case is based on where I've been in real life and for how long and what I've been doing there. And I was doing a lot of things there because I was running around playing, you know, with playing with the snow, just literally diving in the fucking snow, just like whatever, you know. And it's not like I was wearing like 50 billion, you know, layers of fabric on me. I was like, yeah, I had my jacket, I had some gloves, you know, that kind of thing. So what I'm trying to say is that Sanhelm is over-dramatized. And I think since we can't customize, we disable it. Hell, in winter, to give you another example, in winter in Greece, we often reach minus lately. Like the last couple of years, we've been reaching minus. So in real life, I'm in my house, which my apartment is exposed. Like it's very exposed. I'm like, it's a corner building. I'm at the corner of the city block. The area in front of the house is open. If there is wind, it hits directly. If there is cold, nothing stops it, right? And so we are with my flatmate. We have been through -8, -5 for 3-4 days. Dude, I was in my underwear. I didn't even turn on heating. Sometimes I did just to feel more comfortable, but I was sitting there streaming to you, not even exercising or anything, just sitting here, you know, just streaming or playing games, and I was fine. Nothing happened in my underwear. So it's not really far-fetched to think that, like, with some appropriate clothing, you could be very comfortable here. But instead what we see, and again, like the clothing, as I said, concession, because you just want to look cool or whatever. But I don't think you would freeze, you know? Like this. You wouldn't be like this. No way. No way. It's just impossible. Like, legitimately impossible. And now add all the fantasy elements of the game. Like, all the unrealistic elements. Again, like, you're a special character, you're this, you're that, it's a power fantasy. Yeah, nah, you'd be fine. You'd be fine. You'd be fucking fine. So, I think I'll disable it, TLDR. Anyway, that was a very roundabout way of reaching that conclusion. But I was just trying to be fair, and I was trying to be like, should I or should I not? You know, I wanted to like to weigh my options properly, I'd say. But yeah,
I will take a note of that.
I'll disable it. Yeah, no worries. I'll disable it. I don't like it. I don't like the visuals. I don't like what it does, and it happens too fast. I don't know. All right, but the thing is that all of this shit works. I didn't notice anything outstanding. Anything standing out, sorry. Outstanding is different. I didn't notice anything standing out as not working. So all of this batch of mods that we installed right now. So from here to here, yeah, it works. As far as I can tell, it just works really fine. I didn't check the armor physics, but everything works. So yeah, anyways, well, that's it most likely. I don't want to see or do or hear anything more on a Saturday. I just want to go and have fun with my people, with Neris and June. I just want to chill there, play some Enshrouded, stuff like that. And so to that end, I will leave you. It was interesting, you know, shopping Skyrim a little bit, labbing Skyrim mods. We have a clear direction on where we want to go. I will keep range blasters in mind. I'll try to notice while we play on Monday and Tuesday, while we play properly. I'll try to notice if we are having this effect. If we don't have this effect, I will try this mod on the spot. We will see. And then we're definitely going to do that shit. So high priority up there. And that won't be Monday or Tuesday. That's going to be in the week. So you will probably start noticing the changes from next week. And I don't think I can do it all in 1 week either, because I have things to do. So I'll be installing these like in parts this week and maybe next week, and then it will be fine. But until then, until Monday that is, stay safe, enjoy your weekend. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate your company. I hope you liked the rant.